Hey everyone, it's Dr. Dan Ritchie, president of the Functional Aging Institute, and welcome to FAI Summit 2021. This is the 7th annual Functional Aging Summit. I really can't believe it, to tell you the truth. So when we did this in 2015, I was shocked that we pulled it off that year for the first time ever and had 180 people. And here we are in 2021 putting on our 7th. And we have over 400 in attendance, which is just fantastic. So if you haven't picked up your full guide to the event, I highly encourage you to do that. It is available on the website. It will help you navigate for sure day 2. Probably not going to help you for day 1 at this point, since day 1 is wrapping up and I'm at the end of day 1. So I'm glad that you're here. Maybe you're on the West Coast and you're looking for more. I hope you enjoyed day 1. It was an action-packed day. Really excited about Mark Middleton's keynote, and Paulo Andeloff, his session. It really is one that if you didn't catch it, please go back and take a look. And keep in mind, you can still take in the pre-conference workshops. If for some reason you didn't get registered and you're like, man, I wish I had seen Robert Evans' 4-hour workshop or Emily Splickles, you can still buy a ticket to those. It's only $69. We recorded them. They're over 4 hours of great content. So anyway, day 1 is in the books. We will have those recordings out to you in a couple of days, because obviously you couldn't take in every session. If you could, I'd love to know how. So 4 sessions at the same time is kind of tricky. So tomorrow we'll be kicking off live with Martin Pisani keynoting 10 a.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. So I'm going to give you really a short action-packed session here before. I've done this one many times. You may have seen it before, and that's okay. I'm doing how to add $10,000 a month in personal training revenue to your business. So you could be starting from scratch, launching a business. You could be trying to jumpstart your business, add 10 grand in revenue. I'm going to try to give you a bunch of practical ideas and run through this pretty quickly. So I know this is a recorded session. Probably don't want to listen to me recorded for an hour. So let's get to it. Well, how hard could it be? Well, the question really has to be, well, how hard could it be to make a profit, right? It's not hard to run a fitness business. If you enjoy training clients, I mean, you can do that at the local YMCA for 25 bucks an hour. Question is, how hard can it be to make money, to make a profit? And at the end of the day, when I say you want to add $10,000 a month to your training business, of course, I want that to be highly profitable. So I love to start with this story. I've told this many times. I will probably keep telling it. Dina came to us, and Dina really wanted to add $10,000 a month in revenue, and really she wanted to add $20,000 a month in revenue, if we were honest. She was running a fitness business that she had bought for, I think, less than $10,000. I think she might have bought it for like $5 grand. Well, you get what you pay for, right? I mean, she bought a business that was doing about $3,500 a month. She had 100 customers paying $35. So it's easy math. 100 times 35, 3,500 a month. So I encouraged her to fire all of her customers. And she was like, have 0 customers? That doesn't sound like a great strategy. I'm kind of going backwards. I said, well, you don't really want any of them, do you? Now that sounds a little harsh, but the reality is she doesn't really want $35 a month clients. And then I said, well, let's do the opposite. What if you got 100 more of them and now you're making $7,000 a month? Oh, that would be terrible, right? I mean, she quickly realized, wait, you're right. I don't want more of them. I want less of them. But firing all your customers sounds a little scary, right? But I basically said, we don't have to fire any of them. We just have to change your business model from a $35 a month model to a $200 a month model. And they're all welcome to stay. In fact, we invited many of them to stay at half price early on, right? For the next 6 months, you can get training at $99 a month. I think she wound up firing about 97 customers and only 2 or 3 stayed. But she transformed her business, and when she had 140 clients paying her an average of $250 a month, right? I mean, that math works out to $35,000 a month, 10 times the business, but only 140 customers as opposed to 100. So we have to think about what sort of business we're building. We also have to think about the if you build it, they will come mentality just doesn't work. In fact, sometimes it works against us, right? In Dina's case, she had taken over or bought a Curves knockoff gym, a ladies circuit fitness gym. And so that's who came. And so we have to be careful about that. But really, the reality is you can build a fitness studio, you can design a fitness studio, you can build a health club, you might be running one right now. They're not going to come just because you built it. They're going to come because you deliver great service, you market the experience you provide, you sell the experience you provide. You have to communicate that. They're not just going to show up because you put your name out on the wall, right? And Cody and I learned that the hard way. We built Miracles Fitness and we thought, well, people will just come. No, they won't. In fact, they won't even know you're there to come. You have to communicate that, market that, really make that a known thing. All right, I don't think I am blocking the slides with my screen, but I'll move it. So we're going to talk about some key tactics to launch with clients or relaunch with clients or jumpstart with more clients. I really want you to stop relying on word of mouth, and I want you to build it. I want you to think very much like Stephen Hadley, Fit Body Bootcamp, Fit Body Forever owner in Daphne, Alabama. I want you to think like Marion Brand, fitness owner in the Vancouver area. I want you to have a book like Kim and Marty Mussikant. I want you to think about how can I create tools that drive word of mouth, create word of mouth? How can I create events? How can you build, control, and foster word of mouth? Not just hope that your clients are spreading the word, not just hope that your clients are going to refer. Referrals are a absolute great marketing tool, but you need to be fostering that, building that, cultivating that, creating it. You need to build it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, beg, borrow, and model others. There's so many great models now in FAI. Visit people's studios. When you travel, what studio could I check out? I mean, we have across the Functional Aging Summit, we've got studio owners from Houston. We've got studio owners from Fort Lauderdale. We've got, studios from Salt Lake City. I mean, if you're in Salt Lake City, you should be popping into Age Performance, right? If you're in Houston, you should be popping into Evolution Fitness and Wellness or Jake Trione's fitness studio, TriFit. If you're in Fort Lauderdale, you should check out Fit Factor. Beg, borrow, model. Dina Medina is on Saturday. Active Age Fitness. Beg, borrow, and model others. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. There's really no need for you to do that. Build a list, build a following, build a raving fan base. So if you learn nothing else from the Functional Aging Summit, I hope you come away realizing you have to build a list. Guess what? Every single person that attended the Functional Aging Summit was on some list somewhere. You cannot escape it. You were on some list somewhere. Now, you might not have been on FAI's list. Maybe you were on PFP's list, or you were on Dr. Evan Osar's list, or you were on a speaker's list, or you were on Guy Andrews' Exercise Etc's list. You were on a list somewhere. You heard about the Functional Aging Summit. Maybe you were on a Facebook following. Maybe one of our raving fans told you about it. Maybe you weren't on any of those lists. Maybe one of our raving fans told you about the Functional Aging Summit. So you need to be building a list, build a following, build a raving fan base. If you take nothing else away from the whole weekend, that is critical. Your customers, your clients are on your list. Of course, your clients, your best raving fan clients, that's your best list, right? That's where your current money is. And then the question is, outside of that, who's your next potential client? Who's on your following? Who's on your list that's going to be your next client? And so you've got to be building those lists. Read books. I always like to give some book tips. This is a great marketing book for boomers and seniors. No BS Marketing to Boomers and Seniors by Dan Kennedy. Really the No BS Marketing series, you can't go wrong. No BS Marketing to the Affluent. No BS Marketing, I think it's called Grassroots Marketing Strategies. No BS Price Strategy. There's about 10 or 12 of these, and they're really, really helpful. This is the one I recommend for marketing to boomers and seniors. And then I love 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. That's a great book. If you're finding yourself stuck, like I can't get good people, I can't attract good clients, my business seems to be struggling, that might be a book that you need, because you can't get great people if you're not working on your own leadership skills. Somebody that's high quality is not going to follow a poor leader. I'm not saying you have to be the greatest leader. I'm not the greatest leader at my studio, but you have to be a good enough leader that other people will want to work for you and be on your team. And so that's a really useful book. So how do we build a list? How do we create more word of mouth? Well, let's look at a bunch of different strategies, because you can do it online, you can do it offline. You're going to build an online list, an offline list, a phone call list, an email list, a Facebook following. And then what do we do to create more word of mouth? There's a lot of different ways we can do that. But before we build that list, we have to make sure we're putting the right people on the list. Do we want everyone on your list? Anyone on your list? We really don't. Do you want high school teenagers on your list? Do you want people that are looking to rent a tuxedo for prom on your list? Do you want third graders on your list? No, we want to have your ideal target client. We want to have your avatar. Who do you really want to train? If you know you want to train 70-year-old women, doesn't do you any good to be getting brand new moms on your list, right? They're women in their 20s and 30s in most cases, right? So who do you really want to train? Who's your sweet spot? Who do you love, right? The active life, feel younger and aging better for men and women aged 40 plus. Well, doesn't make any sense then to build a list of teenagers and 20-year-olds if that's who you want to go after. This one's fit and fabulous after 50, functional fitness for the best half of your life. Well, you probably want 50 and 60-year-olds on your list. So let's make sure when you're building your list, building your following, you know who you want to get on that list. And it's not anyone and everyone. Don't make that mistake. It's not. So who are ideal clients? Now for us at Miracles Fitness, we've found ideal clients tend to be women. And then the women tend to get the men. They tend to be more affluent, more educated, 55 to 70. That might even be slightly aging up a little bit. Baby boomers are now like 57 to 74 here in 2021. Obviously, they have to live within a reasonable proximity. It doesn't do you any good to build an email list of 10,000 and have them live all over your state, unless you're offering online training and remote training and virtual training and other options. And now with COVID, we've seen your list can be all across the country, even world. But for a primary brick and mortar type business, obviously within a reasonable distance makes sense. Are they working? Sure. Are they retired? Sure. Are they everything in between? Sure. Are they semi-retired? Are they retired and now I started a new career? All of that for sure. I think the most dominant market segment in the United States, probably in Canada as well, probably in most of the world, are baby boomer women. Right now, they're considered the most dominant consumer market in the world. They're affluent, they're educated, and they're empowered more than ever. They're not aging like women previously. They're not aging like their mom, and they're certainly not aging like their grandmother did. They're realizing they're in their prime of their lives and that this is a new, exciting stage for them, right? They're done raising kids. They're home. In most cases, their house is paid for. Their career years are behind them. They're completely redefining what it means to be a mature woman. Many of them, of course, are grandmothers, a large percentage, and that's a huge emotional connection. Don't make the mistake of thinking that's all they're about. I mean, let's be honest, it's not. But they do want to do things with their grandkids, and they want to have the physical ability to do so. They still want to do things with their spouse and friends and significant others and their girlfriends. It's not just about the grandkids, but this legacy idea, this transfer of values, is more about doing stuff with their grandkids than it is about money. In the past, 40, 50 years ago, it might be about leaving something to your grandchildren. Now it's about leaving hobbies and passions and desires, right? Like, I want to take my grandsons fishing. I want to take my granddaughter on this trip to a favorite place. I want to teach my granddaughter how to do something that I love to do, right? It might be the love for the outdoors. It might be the love for travel. It might be reading books. It could be going to the movies. All sorts of different things. Taking trips is a big one. Couples are huge. Don't underestimate the power of couples. However, what we've found typically is marketing to women seems to be the most effective. They seem to be the ones that still really value their health and functional ability, independence, and they wind up bringing the spouse along with them. But couples are a great segment, and you can market direct to couples in terms of, what do you want to be able to do? What's the next trip you want to take? What's the next adventure? If you're really going to live the best next 30 years of your life, well, then you need functional ability and health to do that, right? If you're going to travel and enjoy leisure and family time and take the grandkids for a week and do grandparent camp and be an all-star grandparent and travel to Alaska or Europe or whatever it is you want to do. There's so many things that people want to do with the best years of their life, right? I mean, that for many people, it's 20, 30, even 40 years they have left. I love the fit butt segment. This has nothing to do with how big or glorious your glutes are. This is the I'm fit, but I don't want to do crazy anymore. I'm fit, or I want to be fit, or I've been fit, but I can't afford to get injured. And the last time I worked with a trainer, or that last health club program, or that last group fitness, or that whatever it was, I just didn't feel like it was safe, or I did wind up hurting my knee or my shoulder. And, at 62, I can't afford to go through another 6 months of shoulder rehab and surgery. And I just don't want to be part of a fitness program that is going to lead to injury or even expect me to work so hard that injuries are part of it, right? So great market segment. These are clients who they're basically saying, I want to be a client for the rest of my life, but I want to be safe, smart, and effective, right? I want to get a great workout, but I don't want to get hurt because I got a lot of stuff I want to do. I got to be active, productive, and I cannot afford to get injured. So great market segment. We're really tapping into the sort of the health club type person, right? This is the person who's probably been in health clubs, been in and out of group fitness, worked with a personal trainer. They've probably done it all over the last 20, 30 years, but they got to that age where they're like, you know what? All of that stuff that's focused on youth and vanity and performance, some of it is too hard for me, and I need safer and more effective. And then we have the unfit and the unhealthy. This is a pretty big market segment. Let's be honest, we get into the over 70 population. We have a lot of people that are just not fit. They're not. And then we have a lot of people that are actually even unhealthy, right? They're so deconditioned. They're into that frail and lower independent. They've got arthritis. They've got joint dysfunctions. They might have cardiovascular disease. Joanne here is a great example. She was 80 years old. She could barely walk a block. She had Parkinson's disease, and she wanted to go to the Galapagos Islands. And I don't know if we were ever going to get her into the healthy category, but if we could get her into the independent category, the just fit enough category to go to the Galapagos Islands, we were going to change her life, right? That's what she wanted. She's like, I don't really care about fitness, right? Just, do you think I can go to the Galapagos Islands? And I said, well, what do you have to be able to do? She said, well, I have to be able to climb in and out of one of those rubberized inflatable Zodiac boats. You can see it between her and Don in the background. I got to be able to step into the water and onto the beach and navigate the sand, and I've got to be able to walk about a mile on uneven terrain. It's not overly rugged, but it's not paved ADA accessible type paths, and they really don't recommend I take my cane with me. I said, okay, well, we're gonna have to do some work, because what can you do now? Well, I can barely walk a block without being exhausted, right? I said, okay, well, we're gonna have to work towards that. It's not like she has to be the strongest, fittest person, but she's got to get to a level of functional ability to take this trip. And of course, after training with us for several months, she was able to do it. The cool thing is, this segment, this unfit, unhealthy, when they start to see results, because they have very little to no experience with fitness, and they've got multiple health conditions, and they're really on the low level. If they start to see results, those are dramatic, right? They're like, wow, you've really changed my life. I can take walks in my neighborhood and I can do things and I'm not exhausted. And guess what? They become clients for years. Joanne wanted to go to the Galapagos Islands. I don't think she thought she was signing up for a 7-year training program. That's how long she was a client. So from age 80 to 87. Check out these guys, 57 and 62-year-old golfers. Brett Cohen, functional aging specialist in Manhattan, shared this with me. Clients of his, they spend more than $10,000 a year on personal training with him. Right? This is a great avatar, right? These are guys who want to continue to do this, so they will spend a lot of money on personal training because they spend even more money on golfing and enjoying their golf game out in the Hamptons. So a great example of another avatar. So golfers in their 50s, 60s, and 70s are great potential clients, both male and female. You should be the best secret weapon of every golf pro and every country club in your area, because you're not competing with them. You're actually helping them extend the lifespan of their most valuable clientele, right? Their 70-year-old golfer who's starting to have hip and back trouble, you can extend their golf career 5 years, maybe even more, and they might even golf more because they enjoy it. Now, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Just tell yourself you need to add one contact every single day, right? One contact a day. Now, it might be easier to just say on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to try to add 5 contacts to my list, right? Keep it simple, one step at a time, one contact at a time. We all know approximately 150 people. Now, that's not a huge number, but it tells me you should have 200 to 250 people on your list just getting started, right? So if you're like, oh, I have 100 people on my list, you haven't really gotten started yet, right? You have to have 200 to 250. That's you're getting started. And then start adding 5 every couple of days. Try to add 10 a week. If you add 10 a week, you're going to add 500 this year. That's going to have a huge impact. Now, 150 people is not a lot, but those 150 people, all know 150 people, right? The power of connection is pretty crazy when you think about, well, 150 people, but they all know 150 people. Now, some of those overlap, right? We all know some of the same people, but let's say they didn't. That's 22,500 people. 22,500 people. So when people tell me, well, I don't know how to build my list. Well, start with one contact at a time. Start with the circle and then figure out how can you get those 150 people to just introduce you to 10. If they just introduce you to 10 people each, that's 1,500. That'll keep you busy for a while. Build your list online, and we'll talk about build your list offline too. Build your list online. You have to have a website opt-in. If somebody winds up on your website, they have to have a way to give you their information, email address, phone number, both. If you come to Functional Aging Institute, you'll probably find pretty quickly we are annoying with hitting you with, hey, you can have the free Functional Aging starter kit. That's a website opt-in. Facebook ads are a place where you can get people to give you their contact info. Google AdWords, YouTube videos, Facebook videos. Facebook videos can be done live or not live. YouTube videos can be done live or not live. Don't get overwhelmed. I'm doing this video recorded, and then I can post it on YouTube. I can post it on Facebook, right? It's only going to Summit attendees, but a month from now, if I'm like, hey, that was a pretty good recording I did for the Summit, I should put that on YouTube or Facebook. I can post it there too, right? Videos can be reused, repurposed. They don't have to be done live. And if you get camera shy about doing live, then don't worry about that. Just record it and post it up. Though Facebook live videos get a little bit more activity. Facebook really likes live videos. So if you can do some live from time to time, I encourage you to do it. Marion, here she is. Marion Brand. I don't think she knows that I keep touting her, but she's one of my favorite success stories. I need to check in with her and see how her studio's done. I know Canada has been pretty hard on fitness businesses in terms of COVID closures. She attended the first ever FAI summit, and I still remember her story. She showed up She came to all 3 days. We had a 2-day summit on Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday, for $600 more, like triple the cost of a ticket to the summit, we offered our first ever business coaching day and launched our mastermind. And Marion attended, and she was totally burnt out. She was just running all over the place. She was going into clients' homes. She was going to a studio, going to a large health club and teaching a fitness class, and probably going 8 different places a day and running all over about 12 hours a day, just running herself ragged. She was totally burnt out. And I think the summit was like her first vacation in a long time. And she realized pretty quickly in the business coaching day, I can't keep doing the same thing. It's just not going to work. And I was like, you certainly can't grow what you're doing, because I don't want to give you strategies to go from 12 hours a day to 16. That's not going to be efficient. I said, actually, I'd like to see you training less. I'd like to see you working less, but making more money. You're spreading yourself too thin. And so less than a year later, she opened her own studio in the spring of 2016, and she was making more money than she'd ever made in all her years doing that. She had a list, and then she built more through Facebook, and then she did the book to maximize her list, and her business took off, and she was doing really, really well. And she's since attended 2 mastermind meetings, and her business has grown nicely. She very quickly got to 50 clients, and now she wasn't going 10 different places. They were all coming to her. And so she was much more effective and profitable with her time. Build your list offline. There are at least 20 different ways to build your list offline. I'll go over quite a few of them. We go over them in this book. I'm going to give you a link to it at the end of this. Go to where your avatar, your ideal client, eats, lives, works, and plays. Find out where they're at. Your local clothing boutiques, your veterinarians, your massage therapy clinics, your chiropractors, your physiotherapists, your physical therapists, your physicians, your nail salons, hair salons, high-end restaurants. Where are they hanging out? Network, network, network. BNI stands for Business Network International. It's a networking group. It's typically 30 to 35 business owners or managers or key salespeople in a business. I was in a BNI chapter for 12 years. We opened Miracles Fitness in 2007, and I joined a few months in. And I was president of the group. I was on membership committee, served in different roles, and I was in BNI until mid 2020, so 12, 13 years. Hugely valuable. Now, they are in most markets, in most cities. They're in Canada as well. Strongly encourage you to look at that. Great way to build your list. Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, Optimist clubs. There's breakfast Optimist clubs. There's noon Optimist clubs. There's Lions clubs, Elks clubs, country clubs. There's lots of different organizations. The Chamber of Commerce, I always say, is a maybe. In bigger markets, might not make sense. In some smaller towns, it might be the only networking group there is. So really, really valuable. So it kind of depends. Social capital is really the definition of how much capital do you have in your social network? How many business owners do you know? And if the number is pretty low, you need to work on that, right? How many plumbers do you know? Electricians, HVAC owners, insurance companies. I have a home and auto insurance agent that I need personally, but I mean, I have a strong relationship with him. I could refer any of my clients, any of my staff, any of my trainers to him. I have a commercial insurance agent. I have a life insurance agent. I have business owners that I know in lots of different segments. I have an earth moving guy that I know. I have a photographer that I know. I have an architect, a home builder, a lumber yard company. How many different business owners do you know? How many referral partners do you know, like, and trust? And this should be across, all industries. FAI has primarily been built on social capital. What that means is Cody and I have built a lot of relationships and a lot of connections with a lot of people in the fitness industry. That's why you see a wide range of speakers at our summit, from studio owners to education company owners to large equipment companies like Kaiser, Cody and I have built these relationships, and our business runs largely on social capital, and yours should too. Now that might be in a smaller, more local scale, but that's really, really important that you don't isolate yourself and not know what else is going on in your community in terms of local business owners. You got to be in touch and in tap with that. You really should publish a book. I mean, if you're going to be an expert, then you should have a published book. Now, I've shown you Marion's book. I showed you the Muskant's book. Here's Jeff Edwards' book. Here's Stephen Hadley's book. I think I've got Shelley Turk's book sitting here, but I'm going to show you her video here in a second. So Shelley Turk is probably one of our most successful published authors ever. Hold on one second here. I want to show you that book nice and big. Shelley Turk gave over 300 of these books away. Over 300 of these books away. Now, that's really not that many, if we're honest. She gave over 300 of these books away, and that led to about 80 trial clients. I'm going to show you the video here, and that led to 40 long-term clients, over $100,000 in clients. So really, really successful. This is something we can help you with. I think I do have a short little video on this. Yes. So now the website's been updated to coauthorbooks.com/FAI. Make sure you add the /FAI, but I want you to hear this video.
Hi, welcome to coauthorbooks.com, the fast-track authority book service created by Niche Pressworks Publishing. We help business owners like you create books that generate qualified leads of people who are excited about your solutions and eager to work with you. To give you an example, we'll introduce you to one of our clients, Shelley Turk. Shelley was opening a fitness studio and she needed a lot of clients to fill her schedule. She'd heard about the attention-getting power of being a published authority, but she didn't have time to sit at a desk for hours and write a book. So we took what she already had: her story, the photos and testimonials of a few clients, and a special offer. And we wrapped that around 9 chapters of expert content we already had on her subject. A short time later, Shelley had her own book to share her story so that friends and fans could learn more about what she did and how she could help them. Then we taught Shelley how to use her book to get speaking engagements, doctor referrals, media attention, and promotional partners to reach a lot more people. It worked. She handed out 360 books to her ideal prospects, and from that, 107 people signed up for the special offer she had in the back of the book. And those paid leads turned into over $100,000 in signed contracts. Does that sound like the perfect marketing asset you'd like for your business? Because we're sure there are a lot of people who could benefit from your services. You just need to share your story the right way. Becoming a published authority helps you get the attention you need, and Co-Author Books makes it simple, fast, and fun. Get started on your book by requesting an expert book sample now.
Catchy little tune there. So coauthorbooks.com/FAI. Make sure you add the /FAI. But here's the thing. Shelley was afraid. Let's be honest. Shelley was afraid. I've told her story. She was nervous to open a studio from scratch. Can I do it? Will I be successful? Now, I don't know if you know this, but in Canada, you can take a 12-month leave of absence from your job. I was like, I don't think that exists in the United States. You're not going to need it. You're not going back to that lab job you hate. You're going to launch. You're going to give away a ton of these books. You're going to get a ton of trial clients. And she was off and rolling. And here she is 5 years later, still cranking along. Now, obviously, COVID slowed her down, but she's still going. She's survived it. She's pressing forward. In fact, I noticed she was attending the pre-con workshops yesterday. So she continues to learn and improve. So build your list more ways offline. Now, the book is a great way to do it offline because you can have coffee and conversations event. Got to give Beth Pelton credit for this. I didn't know this was a thing. I knew about seminars and lunch and learns and events. Beth's like, we just have a coffee and conversation every month. I'm like, tell me about that. She's like, We literally create like a coffee house, coffee club at our studio, and we invite guest speakers, and they range on all sorts of topics. We have someone come in and talk on essential oils. Somebody comes in and talks on meditation. Somebody comes in and talks on massage therapy. We have a physical therapist come in. We have someone come in and teach on the Enneagram so people can get to know themselves better. I mean, it can be any topic, right? It's a coffee and hangout group. And guess what happens? Your clients enjoy it and they invite their friends, right? And then, of course, Beth's like, oh, hey, you're new. Do you have a copy of my book, right? Beth's published the book with us as well. You can have seminars where you give your book away, of course. You can have seminars where you build a list. Lunch and learns are great. I love this one. I just sort of stumbled into this myself. Have someone else create an event, get sponsors, offer lunch, and make you the keynote presenter. Now, this is a brilliant idea. I went to Home Care by Design, which is about 5 blocks away from my studio. And I said, hey, you know, we're really attracting the same clientele, if we're honest. Your clientele might be a little bit less functional, a little bit less fit, but I would love access to them. And of course, a lot of our clientele get into a certain age where they love to have some home care health, right? I mean, Home Care by Design will clean your gutters all the way up to help take you to a doctor's appointment. I mean, every range of spectrum of functional ability. I said, why don't we create an event and we'll call it like the new aging paradigm, and we can talk about brain health and functional fitness and living well to 100. And I said, I can get a Purdue professor, you know, Purdue University is 5 minutes away. I said, I can get a Purdue professor to come talk on a topic. I'd be happy to talk on like brain health or some other topic. And then we can probably get Dr. Klein, the chiropractor who's 2 doors down, probably get him to talk, right? And so all of a sudden I'm one of the keynote speakers, and then we both worked on getting sponsors. Well, who wants to sponsor that sort of event? Well, you know, estate planners, estate attorneys, financial planners, retirement planners, home health care companies, right? We got a couple sponsors. They paid for the lunch and it was a fun, you know, event. So great, easy way to build your list offline. Events are great opportunities. Ultimate Pink Party is a killer event for us. It's a women's breast cancer awareness fundraiser night, right? They raise money to help people going through breast cancer. It's the biggest kind of breast cancer fundraiser every October. One of the local medical groups, hospital doctor groups, puts it on, sponsors it. It's usually 300 to 400 women. And honestly, you know, when the drinks get flowing, people are pretty easy to give you their name, their email, their contact info for some sort of a prize, right? It can be a door prize drawing. It could be 3 weeks of free personal training. We will walk out of there with 40 to 50 good, solid leads. Caregiving and caregivers events. These have been some of the best for us. Purdue University put on a caregiving event every May after graduation. All the students leave, campus gets quiet. They start putting on some of these events for their staff. And so who's showing up to the caregivers event? Well, people in their 50s and 60s looking for caregiving for their mom or dad. So great potential leads for us, right? We're not looking for the caregiving client. We're looking for that 50 or 60-year-old who's walking around. It costs us $25 to have a booth, and we would get 30 to 40 leads. Great opportunity. Charity events, you can donate items, you can have charity auction, gift certificates, giveaways, all sorts of things. Gift cards can be great promotions. Here's an example of an old one of ours. So we had a gift card that was valued at $199, actually has the credit card stripe on the back. So people think it's real. They won't even throw it away because they're like, well, somebody would want this $199. This was actually a prescription one we had made for physicians, physical therapists, and pharmacies to give away. You can get it without the prescription thing on there. Senior fairs, wellness events, charity walk run events. There's so many types of events. Rosa Coletto. Remember I said earlier, beg, borrow, model. Beg, borrow, model. I mean, these are the people you want to be modeling, right? Rosa joined our mastermind a few summers ago. She had 40 clients at the time, and she's in California. And with 40 clients, she was not making enough to barely pay herself. And she's starting to have the conversation of, should I even be doing this? Because I think I'd be making more money working at McDonald's. I mean, if you're really honest, right, it goes back to the very beginning of my talk. How hard could it be? Well, to make money, because sure, you can work 10-hour days. You can work 12-hour days. The question is, at the end of the day, are you making more than 10, 12 bucks an hour? And Rosa, I don't think was. Today she has over 110. What did she do? People are like, well, how did she do that? Right? She built her list and she did the book. Those are the two things she did. She built her list and she did the book. And that got her to 90 clients really, really quickly. In fact, when she had her book open house, I think she had 90 people in her studio. Her clients got really excited that she published a book and they invited a lot of their friends. And she had this huge book open house party and created more word of mouth than she ever had. She ran a Facebook promo and she built her list and she way more than doubled her pay. And now she takes 2 vacations a year. In fact, she went to Morocco for like 9 days one year. I'm like, you're doing so well. I need to start modeling what you're doing because you're killing it. Be like Banana George Blair. Don't wait for the next thing to happen. Make it happen. That's why I said earlier, keep it simple. One contact at a time. So I like to set goals. Add 5 people to your list every week. Now, it would be better if you added 10, but you don't have to. The problem is I think people are like, well, I don't know how to grow my list. Just do some of the strategies I outlaid for you today and start adding 5 people to your list every week. That will compound over time as you start to add it. So don't sit back and wait. Start making it happen. Be generous. Be a generative business. Run campaigns where you're giving back. We just did Fitness for Food Finders in May of 2021, and we gave $500 to food finders. And keep in mind, most of that money we gave away was not ours. It was clients signing up for the Fitness for Food Finders trial, and we just gave that money and donated it to food finders. So here's a food drive we did. I wore this pink hard hat. Habitat for Humanity does an all women's build. If you raise more than $250, you get to keep the pink hard hat. Can you see it? There it is, up on the top of my bookshelf. I raised more than $250. In fact, I think we raised $2,700. What we did was we said anyone who signs up in September and October, we're going to donate $100 to Habitat for Humanity, and we got 27 people to sign up as new clients in September and October. That was a huge promotion for us. And I got to give really other people's money away, which was cool. I think that's pretty clever, right? You give out the pink hard hat and you say, hey, if you raise less than $250, you got to give the pink hard hat back. Okay, well, game on. I said, okay, guess what? You need to go social capital, right? You need to go tap Jerry, my friend who owns Great Harvest Bakery, and get him to do it too. And I think Jerry donated $1,900 for the women's build. So that social capital is really huge. I knew the mayors, the local food bank, food finders, again, said, we need help with our pound for pound challenge. We need to generate publicity. We've got to generate a large campaign. And if we do well, Feeding America, Subway, and General Mills are donating $10,000 to local food banks. And so I reached out to the mayors and said, hey, this is a no-brainer, guys. It's a win-win for both of you. Mayor of West Lafayette, Mayor of Lafayette. They were both former police. They were on the police force together. They're now mayors of towns across the river. They're not competitive. They're friends. I said, come in and do a cameo workout for us to get sort of, celebrity appeal to this pound for pound challenge campaign and feeding those that are less fortunate in our community. I didn't know this, but I mean, I feel like we live in a fairly affluent community, but West Lafayette's affluent, but Lafayette is not. 1 out of 6 people are food insecure in our county. 1 out of 6 people do not know where their food's coming from in the next couple of days. So they thought they were coming in for a 3-minute workout, right? They came in, we filmed a full 30-minute training session. We turned it into a 3-minute cameo workout, and we still use that for fun. That's a video we made almost 10 years ago. We still use that for fun. And people are always like, well, which mayor won? I'm like, well, both mayors won because they helped get a $10,000 grant for our local food bank. And did you know $10,000, this is pretty cool, $10,000 turns into 30,000 meals. 30,000 meals. Think about that. The food bank can take $1 and turn it into 3 meals. Their money goes way farther than ours. So don't buy canned goods for that next food drive. Just donate $10. They'll make it go way, way farther. Become the local trusted advisor. Publishing the book elevates you. Getting on local TV elevates you. You'll be surprised how many local TV stations will put you on the news, and you don't have to have a PhD. We've had lots of people do it all around North America, especially if you're in a smaller market. Now, if you're in a big city like Chicago or in Indianapolis, it's probably going to be tough. But here in West Lafayette, Indiana, we have a CBS affiliate. I hate to tell you, from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., they got about 20 minutes worth of news. And then from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., they got nothing left except to repeat it. So you might get a wellness segment, a fitness tips, a health and wellness advisory. Now, you can't get on there and sell yourself. You got to get on there and give general good information. But now you're, as seen on TV, now you're the local trusted advisor. So it's a great, great opportunity. If you ever want to see this segment, I have it on a website somewhere. This is several years old. Take a news segment, turn it into a Facebook post and ad, right? Here's Shelly Turk, who I mentioned earlier. She's in Saskatoon. She got on the news, and so, of course, she turned that into a Facebook segment, right? Here's one of our segments from CTV Morning live appearance earlier today. It's more credibility, more authority, right? That's a great Facebook post. That led to her getting published in the newspaper, right? Those may have gone hand in hand. And she has done really, really well. I mean, to think from opening from scratch to just 2 years later doing 400,000 a year is really kind of crazy. So I'm going to wrap up. I wish you could ask questions, but here is how you can. So don't be the lonely, isolated business owner. If you need help, reach out and ask for it. I would love to coach each and every one of you. In fact, what I'm going to do is offer you a free coaching call just for watching this summit session. So I'd love for you to join our mastermind program. It's on a huge discount right now until September. September is when we resume meeting. Success leaves clues behind. Follow them. Don't wander for the next year. Don't wander for 2 years. Well, I got to figure it out. Look, we'd make the same mistake our clients make. Our clients are like, well, I got to get in shape before I hire a trainer. I got to get my act together before. No, get started. I can help you. So happy to do a free call with you. How do you set that up? Contact@functionalaginginstitute.com. Contact@functionalaginginstitute.com. Put in the subject line, free coaching call with Dan. Just type in there and say, hey, I watched Dan's session at the summit. He offered a free coaching call. Love to get on the phone with you. Love for you to join our mastermind program. There's a huge power in the group. Our mastermind is really pretty simple. We meet 3 times a year. I do monthly coaching calls with you. We have a private Facebook group with other owners. Twice a week, we do we do group Zoom calls where you get to talk with other owners. I do a full strategy session with you to get started, and you got access to tons of resources, tons of done-for-you resources, certifications, pretty much all the FAI materials, access to support, accountability, and guidance, so you're not going the wrong direction, you're going the right direction. It's not just always about making more money, but it's about improving your business. For some of you, it's not that you need to make more money, it's that you need to be more profitable, more efficient, and work less. Right? How can we figure out how to keep your revenue the same, but your work reduced? So there's lots of different strategies and goals. So here's just a picture of our group from a couple years ago. We actually got to tour Dr. Kenneth Cooper's office at the Cooper Institute one year. We go different places. That year was obviously in Dallas. We've gone to Houston, Phoenix, several places in California, Indianapolis, of course, all over the map, really. So we're always meeting in different places. Our next meeting is in Denver, September 17th. You are invited and welcome to attend. We'd love to have you. We do some crazy random things every once in a while. So in Phoenix, we took everyone to a Diamondbacks game. I can't even remember who the Diamondbacks played. All I remember is that Shelly Turk won the hot dog eating contest. So we sat in all-you-can-eat seats, and let's be honest, it was a baseball game, so the food wasn't healthy. I think it was hot dogs, peanuts, popcorn, soda. I'm not sure if there was something else. And Shelly Turk ate 8 hot dogs. So pretty impressive, Shelly. Evan Osar tapped out at 7. I think I quit at 4. I didn't that wasn't a contest I wanted to win. So I still remember Shelly woke up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. She was like, I needed water. I'm like, well, yeah, you ate 8 hot dogs. Your body was probably like, you need water. Brian Stecker's been a phenomenal mastermind member. He owns Boomer Fitness in Vancouver, Washington in United States. Vancouver, Washington is just north of Portland. Successful trainer. The aging opportunity is not going away. It's only getting bigger. I mean, look, the Gen Xers are coming. In fact, baby boomers are 57 to 75 now. There's still 75 million of them left. The traditionalist or silent generation of seniors, that's those 75 plus. There's still 28 million of them left. So over 100 million people over the age of 57. And Gen Xers are already turning 50, right? I mean, Gen Xers are already 50 to 56, and there's more and more coming. Cody is a Gen Xer. Dr. Evan Osar, Gen Xer. They're in their 50s. I'll be there soon enough. 64 million of us coming behind. It's a huge population. It's not going away. If you haven't gotten certified, let's do it. By all means, you got to get certified. Couple different options. I'm going to stop sharing this and show you what's coming up. So Ageless Fitness is our business model. If you want done for you resources, you want to add this to your existing health club or training studio, totally you can check that out at our website, functionalaginginstitute.com. Right on the homepage, we got info on Ageless Fitness. This is my gift to you, okay? Now, you can get it totally free at fasmarketingbook.com. It's not the physical book, it's the PDF. You'll get that within seconds. Don't buy the upsell unless you want it. You don't have to check the box. There's like a $27 sales program. You can get that book for free. If you want me to ship you the book, happy to do that. Get Boomer Clients, getboomerclients.com. Getboomerclients.com. We'll ship you the book. It's like $8.97 maybe. You pay for shipping basically. So, okay, that's it. Now I want to show you one more thing before we wrap up. Something I'd like to invite you to. Let me get it on the right page here. Oh, just real quick, since we've got you, let's take a look at that website. So remember, it's coauthorbooks.com/FAI. Here's where you can get all the information. There's another video here. It's done for you fitness authority marketing, really is what it is. It's not just book publishing. You get a graphics bundle, postcard campaign, done for you emails, done for you PowerPoint presentation, done for you book. Now, is it cheap? No. It's $3,900, or you can do it in 4 payments, but you can have a book by August. That's pretty powerful to start giving away your book by August. That's a pretty huge thing. So I encourage you to check that out. coauthorbooks.com/FAI. Now, the last thing that I want you to take away, you're invited. Absolutely want to have you here. You're invited to the first FAI live event that we have had in, well, it's going to be 18 months, maybe 20 months by the time we have this. So here we are in September. Get where I can see me again. September 17th and 18th, Denver, Colorado. It's actually at the Hyatt Regency in Aurora, which is about 15 minutes from the Denver International Airport, about 15 minutes from downtown Denver, kind of right in between them. If you've ever flown into Denver, you realize the airport's pretty far out from actual Denver. So it's a nicely located hotel. It's easy to get to from the airport. It's a fantastic facility. It's brand new. It was set to host the Functional Aging Summit 2020. It was set to host the Functional Aging Summit 2021. Unfortunately, they've both been postponed, but this one is on. We're doing it. COVID protocols are in great place. We're going to be able to have live workshops with reasonable numbers and good social distancing, and we're doing 4 workshops. Okay. Now, we're doing the FAI Business Mentorship on Friday. Look at this guy, that's me. We're doing the FAI Business Mentorship on Friday, business workshop. We're also doing a Preventive exercise solution, the 7 assessments, correctives, preventive exercises for older hips and shoulders. Evan Osar and Janice Maddock. These two are married, in case you didn't know that. Power couple there. And then on Saturday, 2 more workshops. So Guy Andrews is doing the strength and conditioning for seniors concept. And Dr. Evan Osar and Diane Bailey are doing a combo workshop. So you have 4 workshops to choose from. We would love to have you there. You can purchase 1 or 2. Can't really purchase 4 unless you figured out how to be 2 places at once. So the FAI business workshop is going to be a full day of what we went over today. So I'd love for you to check this out. We can get you more information on this as well. Again, if you're wondering, contact at functionalaginginstitute.com if you have any questions. But it's September 17th and 18th. They're all reasonably priced. You basically can sit in on a full day of FAI Mastermind for just $249. We normally charge $1,000 for our 2-day. So we've cut that in half and then cut it in half again. And then we've got the other workshops here as well. So that's all I've got. Hope to see you guys live tomorrow. Now, of course, you might be watching this a week later, and that's totally cool too. So glad you attended the Functional Aging Summit. Glad you continue to support FAI. Again, if you have any questions for me or you want to take me up on that free coaching call, contact at functionalaginginstitute.com. Contact at functionalaginginstitute.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.